Let's see. What am I talking about today? All right. It doesn't officially start to 11, so I'll give it some time. YouTube. I am here. 11 o'clock. Let's get started because I never know how long I'm going to talk. I always say I want to do more of these, but I don't know what to talk about sometimes. Hello, welcome to Just My Thoughts. I'm your host, Khalil Ward. On this episode, I'll be talking about a lot of different things, mainly summer movies. I saw about 22 movies this summer. Um, for me, summer movie season starts in May. I know summer starts in June, but May, that's when the domino starts for summer movies. So I'm going to talk about the movies I saw this summer, some of my favorites, of course, the MCU Discord. If you have questions, I'll try to answer them the best I can, and then I'll end with what I'm looking forward to watch in the next week or so, um, and what's going to be popping up on the channel. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. I'm up to like 922. I don't know where all these people came from. I do be posted on TikTok sometimes. I'm getting some love over there. I do quick recaps of stuff I watch. Usually I try to make it 60 seconds, but sometimes I go a little bit longer. So that's why I don't post it on a YouTube short because they only allow 60-second clips. But thank you for everyone tuning in. Thank you for everyone who subscribed, who shared my stuff. Thank you for whoever purchases a shirt because randomly you get an email like, hey, you sold a shirt. It's like, cool, thanks. Appreciate it. Love that. But let's get into the summer movies starting in May. Again, if you have a question, drop it in the chat and I'll try to get to it as soon as possible. First movie that I saw in May to kick off summer movie season was The Fall Guy. And I know it didn't do well in theaters, but I had a great time watching that movie. It's on streaming right now. I forgot which service it's on, but it was a really good movie. It was like a rom-com with a stuntman and a director. I thought the chemistry was there with Emily Blunt, Ryan Gosling. It's definitely a fun movie. You should check out. I wish it did better in the theaters. People are always complaining that there are not new movies coming out. There's always nostalgia and stuff like that. And I'll talk about that more when I get into Deadpool. The Fall Guy, original movie. Well, remake, but it was good. It had the chemistry. It had stars. It was funny, and it didn't do well. So, moving on, you have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. That is on Hulu right now. It's after Caesar's story. It was really well done. I thought so. The fact that they were able to continue the story of the apes without Caesar, who was such a fantastic character, I thought they did a good job of moving the story forward. Again, it's on Hulu. You want to check it out. You don't have to watch all the other Planet of the Apes movies to watch this movie. So, and I think the Caesar saga is on Hulu anyway, so you have something to check out on Hulu. The last movie I watched in May in theaters, this is all in theaters, by the way. This is not counting for streaming stuff. So I saw 20 something movies in theaters this summer. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. It didn't do well at all in the box office. And I thought it was a worthy prequel to Mad Max. Furiosa was a fun character. Again, this movie might not be for everyone, especially if you didn't watch Mad Max Fury Road. So I can understand that. But people be wanting big movies to come out. And when they do, they don't go support them. So I was disappointed that this movie didn't do really well. I thought it looked good. It didn't look as good as Mad Max. And it was probably like 20, 30 minutes, a little bit too long. But another really good movie that didn't get any support at the theater. people get upset for whatever reason because they don't want to go to the theater and spend money. They don't want to go to the theater and maybe be disappointed. But that's the theater going experience. You go and then it's like, did you like it? Did you love it? Did it surprise you? That's the fun of going to the movies. And just people didn't go out. June saw 4 movies. Bad Boys Ride or Die. It was fun. Like I don't care. It was fun. I thought the story, after 3, I didn't know where they were going to go with the story. I thought they did a good job. Fun movie, Bad Boys, fun series. It's a popcorn movie. That's what you want to go to the movies for. Something like Bad Boys. Have fun, have laughs, get some action. Inside Out 2, saw that as well. I saw that twice. I'm not accounting for everything that I've seen multiple times in the theater, but I saw Inside Out 2 twice. It is one of the best Pixar movies out there. It made over $1 billion. I think that was a surprise for a lot of people. Because like people love Inside Out. I didn't think Inside Out 2 was going to do this well, but I think people could relate to these emotions, especially anxiety, nowadays. So that is definitely something that most of you probably seen. It's a fantastic movie. Whenever it hits Disney Plus, I'm pretty sure people are going to rewatch it and get all analytical with it. But that's one of the movies of the summer. Inside Out 2, easily one of the movies of the summer. Then we have The Bike Riders, and I didn't really like this one too much. It had a good cast. Tom Hardy, Austin Butler, Jodie Comer, Norman Reedus shows up. And they were comparing it to like Goodfellas on bikes. I didn't feel that. I was bored a lot of the time. The story is told from Jodie Comer's point of view as she meets this guy named Benny, played by Austin Butler, and he's in a biker gang, and he just likes to ride his bike. But the movie never really gave us anything to latch onto. Like, okay, Benny likes to ride his bike. Why? We don't get that. They just fall in love, and Benny is ride or die for this gang, and we just never get any insight on Benny. I was pretty bored with it. I didn't enjoy it. It's probably on streaming right now. Don't know. Probably Prime, I would guess, but really didn't enjoy it. Another movie I didn't enjoy, A Quiet Place, Day One. It wasn't necessary, obviously. The performances are really good. But if you're going to give us Day One, it's in New York, the monsters first appear, give us something else to go on with these monsters. Because in the first Quiet Place, they finally learn how to kill them. But we still don't have any information about where they come from, why they're here. It's just monsters here. So A Quiet Place Day One didn't really give us any answers. It gave us good performances. Like, all right, cool. Especially when you can't speak and you're moving around New York, which is very loud, very crowded. So, people got snatched up quickly. But we didn't get anything new about the monsters. It was just like, boom, monsters landed. Not like anything government. Hey, this is what we learned about them. Nothing. It's just 2 people trying to travel to get some pizza. That's the gist of the story. I didn't really enjoy it. A lot of people liked it. I didn't enjoy the story aspect of it. I enjoyed the characters that we spent time with, but it was like, all right, cool. I'm here to see some monsters and learn about them. Like we had one scene in the movie where the guy was, I think he was trying to go get the cat or something like that. He was going to get medicine and then the cat ran off and he was going to get the cat. And he ended up in like this area where all the monsters were. And I was like, okay, this is different. But that was all we got. And it's just like, okay, yeah, cool, I guess. Moving on to July, I saw a lot of movies in theaters in July. July was a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of sleepers in July. And these are the movies that I want to promote and talk about. These are the movies that I like going to see and recording and having people be like, oh, I did watch this movie. I thought it was really good. Because the big movies are going to be there and people are going to hear about them. But it's like the really small movies that people claim that are not being made, I really enjoy. So the first movie I'm going to talk about for July, it was Kill. And Kill, I compared it to A Train to Busan and The Raid, because the way it's shot, it's an action thriller. It's definitely something I wish people would have saw in theaters. It's not in theaters anymore. It is a foreign movie. There are subtitles. Get over it. But this guy, the premise is this guy and this girl, they're dating. They've been dating for a while. And he's in the military. He comes back from like the field. And his girlfriend is like, my dad found somebody for me to marry. I'm engaged now. And he's like, what? So he goes to the engagement party and he's like, let's get out of here. And she's like, did you not hear the gunfire a minute ago? They will kill us before we leave. He's like, all right, cool. So she's like, okay, I'm getting on this train. We're going to New Delhi. Get on the train. When we get there, we'll escape together. And he's like, cool. So he takes his best friend is there. Dude in the military with him. His best friend was there at the engagement party, ready to take them wherever they wanted to go. So she gets on the train with her family. He gets on the train with the guy. And while they're on the train, all of these bandits get on the train. And the bandits are organized because they get on and they have these devices to cut off communication off the internet and everything like that. And they just start going through every car. You'll give me your wallet, give you, all of this, robbing people. When they get to the woman, they see her father, and her father is like a big deal. And they're like, yo, that's so-and-so. Oh, he's going to be worth a lot of money. So we're going to take him because we're going to ransom him. Army dude is there. He sees, what's going on. He goes and he does his thing, right? And at first, he's not killing anyone. He's just a military guy. I can beat you up. He beats them down. One of the bandits gets killed. Turns out that was somebody's dad. And like all these bandits are like related, like, brother, uncle, son, all of these people are related and they don't like that. So they start bringing more people onto the train. And the military guy is trying to protect the daughter. He's trying to protect her family. But then like her sister ends up going to the bathroom. Instead of going to the bathroom right next to them, she goes to the bathroom on the other side of the train. And they're like, can you go get her? So he's like, all right, cool. So now him and his boy are in the train and they got to go through all the cars to find the daughter. And it becomes just fighting. A lot of knives and machetes, no gun. It's like one gun that's used and they're fighting and it gets crazy. And it gets to a point in the movie where something happens and he snaps and then he starts killing people in crazy ways. And I was like, and I was in the theater by myself because it's not a big movie. It was so much fun. Like it was a blast watching that movie. If you get a chance to see it, it's called Kill. So when you look it up, just put like Kill 2024 or something like that. Really dope. Really fun. I hope people check it out. It's on different streaming services, but you probably have to pay to rent it or whatever. But it's definitely worth your time as an action thriller. It's under 2 hours. A lot of fun. Despicable Me 4, don't have to say much about that. It was solid. I liked Rise of Gru more, but again, family movie. Check it out. Fly Me to the Moon. I saw it. It was okay. It's definitely a rom-com that will probably do better on streaming. Channing Tatum, Scarlett Johansson, decent movie. Nothing special. It's about the moon landing and a marketer trying to market NASA, plus also shoot a fake moon landing just in case they don't land on the moon. I enjoyed it, but I know it wasn't gonna be like a hit or anything like that. Then we have Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trot. This movie, it's a church movie type thing. It's a God movie. I didn't enjoy the movie per se, like the people in it, but the message of the movie is really dope. It's based on a true story, and it's based on this church, this pastor and first lady. Her mom dies, and she has this vision message from God, and she's like, I want to adopt a kid. Pastor's like, what? We already have two. One of them has special needs or whatever. I don't know if we could do this. She's like, this is what God told me. They adopt a kid. Then they go to the church and they tell the church, and then everybody in the church is basically like, sure, we'll adopt kids. And everybody is adopting the kids. And then they go back and they're like, we want the kids that nobody wants. We want the worst kid, the kid that is bouncing from home to home to home. We want that kid. And they're like, the lady's like, I don't know if you ready for that, you know? And they get this young lady, and she is pretty bad. Like at some point, she refers to herself as a cat. She don't want to talk to nobody. She just starts meowing everywhere. And it's rough because the community is small and they're helping each other out, and the thing just stopped working around in different houses. Like it's like too many people in this house, but now the water's not working, or this is broken, and they are working together to make sure these kids that come from foster homes are taken care of. They are trying to work with this young girl who is putting them through it. Like she is doing a lot of stuff she ain't supposed to be doing. And when she usually does that, she'll get kicked out and taken, go to a different home. And they just keep working on her. Like I said, the story and the message is there. I didn't really like the movie, but I thought it was really cool at the end where they show all the people that the movie is based on and show where they are now and how the community has grown, and all these kids that were adopted are still there and building families of their own. Super dope. I don't know where it's streaming at right now, but if you're interested in that type of thing, Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Tribe. That's like the community, Possum Tribe. Dope. These next two movies are like movies that will probably do better on streaming. The first movie is called Thelma. And Thelma, I saw the trailer and I was like, I'm interested. It's a small movie. It's an action comedy. It's under an hour and 45 minutes, right? And Thelma is about this grandmother. She's 93 years old. And she gets conned out of $10,000, right? We see early on her grandson is helping her like with her computer. So she's on the computer a little bit. She gets a call. The person is like, oh my God, grandma, I've been in an accident. I need this much money. I need you to send it to this address. She's worried. She calls her daughter. She calls her son-in-law. Nobody picks up. She gets $10,000. She's a grandma. She got money all over the house. She goes to the post office. She sends the money out. After she sends the money out, everybody calls her. Hey, grandma, what was going on? You all right? And she's like, oh, so-and-so was in the hospital. I sent the money. And they're like, grandma, you really sent the money? And she's like, yeah, I didn't know what to do. I thought he was hurt. They go to the cops. Cops are like, there's nothing we could do, so that's it. So the grandma's like, I'm going to get my money. I know where I sent this. She accidentally threw out the address, but she went back. She found the address, and she's trying to get her family to help her. She calls her grandson, hey, I need help. Take me to this. And he's like, no, grandma, if you need to go to the store or something, let me know. I'll do it. She goes to this nursing home to see her friend, but she really went there to steal his scooter. And she's like, I got to go find these people. And her friend is Richard Roundtree. It's one of his last roles before he passed. And she takes his scooter and they leave the nursing home. They escape the nursing home. And the grandson is like, I can't believe I lost grandma. And they get on this scooter to go across LA to find out who took her money, and they want her money back. And it's a movie about caring about people as they get older, looking out for them, listening to them, also helping them, because it gets to a point where she has to use the computer again. And she's like, I remember my grandson told me, and she starts doing things. And it's one of those movies that is not going to make a lot of money, but when it hits a streaming service and you see it, you're gonna be like, oh, this was cool. This was cute. I like this. It's enjoyable. And it's that type of movie. It's an enjoyable experience, something you can watch with your whole family and laugh and just have a good time. But again, it's been overlooked. It's called Thelma. Just keep that in mind. Next movie, I saw this movie. AMC has like this. You don't know what the movie is. I forgot what it's called, but they're like, you can buy the ticket. The movie is rated R. That's all you know. You don't know what it is until you go. And it was my first time using it because I was back home in New York. And I went. I'm like, okay, it's a nice crowd. I wonder what it's going to be. I hope it's not a horror movie. I don't really do horror. And the movie is called Kneecap. And I saw a trailer for it, and I didn't know what was going on in the movie. Like, I saw a trailer prior, and I was like, okay, Michael Fassbender is in it. What is going on in this movie? What is happening in this movie? And I couldn't, for the life of me, understand in that trailer what was happening. So the movie comes on, and I'm like, all right, we're in Ireland somewhere. Got the accents kicking off, and the movie was incredible. Like, incredible. It was a lot of fun, and my review is getting a lot of traction. I guess because people are trying to see what people are saying about it. It's a comedy drama, and it's about language. The British, they are trying to basically eliminate speaking Irish in Ireland, right? And we follow this trio. The two guys are rappers. They're like drug dealers, but they rap, right? And one of them gets in trouble. And while he's locked up, they need a translator because he's not speaking English. He refuses to speak English. He's only speaking Irish. So they need a translator. And it's this music teacher. They bring him in, and he's tired. It's the middle of the night. He's like, oh, whatever. And the guy's talking to him like, yo, help me out. I don't want to speak no English, And then he gets this book. In the book, they're rhymes, but they're written in Irish. So he's translated it to the cop, but he's liking what he's. It doesn't sound the same when he translated it, right? So he's liking it, and there's like some drugs in the book or whatever. So the guy's looking at him like, yo, help me out. Take the book. Don't let me get arrested. So he takes the book, and he goes home, and he has like producing equipment, and you can hear he's making beats, but then you hear the guys rapping the song in the background, and he likes it. Fast forward, he runs into the guy again. He's like, you got to record this. You have to record. And then he brings his friend in. He's like, you want us to do this in Irish hip hop? And he's like, yeah, the people need to hear this. This is going to make them go crazy. And they start doing a bunch of drugs, and they start recording this music, and they go out and perform. Somebody records it, and it just takes off. And they're performing these concerts, and people are showing up going crazy, and they're promoting drugs. They're promoting beating up the British and everything. And on the outside of that happening, people are protesting about speaking Irish in Ireland. They're protests, and then like their music is not really helping with the argument from the government's point of view. And it's just watching these three individuals, the teacher in particular, because he has a life, he's a teacher, but he wears a mask, and he's like their DJ, and he's doing crazy drugs. And then the next day he's like trying to teach in school, keeping it away from his girlfriend and everything. And it's a wild movie, but it's so good, so well done. The music, again, it's in Irish, so it's just the instrumentals, and I'm like, okay. And they're rapping all this different stuff, and they saying all these different things, and the people, it gets the people going. And it was dope, like seeing it at AMC with the, not knowing it was going to play, and then doing the review about it, and a lot of people coming to the channel is like, yo, thank you for reviewing this. It's, and they, giving me backstory about what's going on in Ireland, because I didn't know the history of everything that was going on, and it's also based on a true story. Like, these people are real. Kneecap is real. They still out there performing and stuff. And it was like, wow. Wow. Not expected. Dope movie. Kneecap. Look it up. I don't know if it's still playing in theaters, but it's something you want to watch. Twisters, One of my favorite movies of the summer. It's not a direct sequel, but it's a perfect summer movie. I saw it 3 times. I saw it in IMAX. I saw it in Dolby, and then I went again and just watched it again because it's that good. I just really enjoyed the movie. Glenn Powell's a superstar. Uh, it's a fun movie. Twisters, it's up there for like one of my favorite movies this year because I don't know, it just did things right. It didn't try to be the original. Uh, the the tornadoes just look crazy, um, and the way everyone came together, because it is about competition at first, but people are still looking out for each other because it's a tragedy happening. So just watching everyone come together to do the right thing and not just be like, hey, I did better than you, or I did what I wanted to do. Everybody comes together to save people. It's it was a lot of fun. And I know people like, oh, I want to watch it. Go watch them. If you want to watch a movie, go watch the movie. Like it's not that difficult. Just like if you want to go to the club, if you want to go get some liquor, or you want to go get some weed, just go to the movie. It doesn't have to be some super fancy thing. You can go to the movie early on a Saturday morning. You can go to the movie early on a Sunday morning. Like you can make yourself just you can go to the theater. Go to the theater, even if it's by yourself. It's fine. Trust me, it's a movie. You're not supposed to be talking to people. Anyway, moving on, we have the movie of the summer, Deadpool and Wolverine. It was fun. It was good. I enjoyed it. I saw it opening afternoon with uh super fans, people dressed up as Deadpool, people dressed up as Wolverine, packed house, Dolby. It was fun, laughs, surprises. Saw it the next day in the morning, IMAX, same thing. Laughs, surprises, people dressed up. It's a fun movie. Let's not overthink it because all I see is think pieces. Like, oh yeah, the movie made $1 billion and that's good and all, but there's a bigger problem at hand. Like, no, no. The movie did what it set out to do. It surprised people. It brought some people back that was in previous series. It was funny. It was a Deadpool movie in the MCU, rated R. They did not hinder Deadpool, you know, coming to Marvel. They didn't hinder him. They didn't say, "Oh, it just got to be PG-13. You only could get one F bomb." No, it was a Deadpool movie. It did what it was supposed to do. Say goodbye to the Fox universe. That's exactly what they set out to do. That's what they did, and it was fun. We don't okay, yeah. There's nostalgia. All right, cool. What's the problem? What's the problem with it? It's not. It's not like it didn't work. It was a good movie. It did what it needed to do, and people were like, "Oh yeah, but it was a nostalgia fest, and they brought people back." All right, cool. Were you excited when it happened in the theater? Were you surprised? Because I was surprised. I know you were surprised when Chris Evans came on screen. Like, oh, they got this guy. It was fun. We don't need to overthink it. Oh, but what's next for the MCU? Stop thinking like that. That is the problem. Every time something comes out, like, hey, it was cool, but what's next? Appreciate what you get. Like that. It's not Endgame, obviously. It's not Endgame. And yes, Marvel has put out a lot of stuff because of the pandemic. They had things backed up, and they was like, well, let's put this stuff out. And everything didn't hit because it's not supposed to. It's not going to. Not when you have that much stuff backed up and you have to change everything around and you throw it out there and it doesn't work. That's fine. That is completely fine. Stop overreacting to things. Deadpool and Wolverine is a Deadpool movie. It's not here to set up things. Everybody, oh, it's going to set up all of this stuff going forward. It's just Deadpool. If we get to see these characters again, cool. But Deadpool and Wolverine, fun, entertaining. Saw it twice. Had a good time. Most of the people I see, like, yeah, I really enjoyed it. But no, stop with the but. You enjoyed it. That's it. when next year, when Marvel comes out with their slate of movies, I think they're doing 3 movies because this is Deadpool is the only movie they did this year because they took their time. All right, we're gonna do 1 movie. I think they have Agatha coming out next month or whatever. When they do their 3 movies next year, when they start again building towards something, then we can have that discussion. The biggest issue with Marvel after Endgame is the post-credit scenes didn't lead anywhere. Hey, Shang-Chi, your rings are sending the beacon. All of these Avengers don't know where it's going. All of these smart people don't know where it's going. And now we still don't know where it's going. That's their problem. Hey, this happened in the post-credit scene. So that's the issue. Phase 1, phase 2, like, oh, look, Thor's hammer. Next movie is Thor. Oh, look, the next movie is this. Like, that's what we were getting. We're not getting that anymore. It's unfortunate. Move on. But enjoy stuff for what it is. Deadpool and Wolverine, Deadpool movie. We got Hugh Jackman. And people were saying there's no substance. Listen to him talk. His scenes, that is the substance. Listening to Hugh Jackman be Wolverine in the car when he's talking to Deadpool, when he's talking to X-23, that's the substance. That's the substance of the movie. And even Deadpool, the guy literally didn't want to be Deadpool. He was basically retired and being a car salesman because he didn't have any direction. And he got a chance to save his world. That's substance. Moving on. But again, movie of the summer. I did see The Fabulous Four. It's a comedy. It's not really raunchy. It's older women. And one of them is getting remarried and they all meet up again, I think in Florida or something like that. They do a little bit of antics. It's rated R, but it could have done more. That's what I say. It could have done more. It's an older comedy. It's supposed to be, I guess, like a girls trip, but like older women. It had a few chuckles. Is that going to blow you away on streaming? Probably not. But there are movies out there that people say aren't being made, but this one is out there. Now, my favorite movie of the summer. My favorite movie of the summer, and it's one of my favorite movies of the entire year. It's called Dee Dee. And this is fantastic. If it's still in theaters, please go watch this movie. I love this movie. It's a coming of age story. It's a 13-year-old Taiwanese American. It is 2008. It's the last month before high school. Now think back 2008. So he's on AIM. He's on MySpace. Facebook is there. And he is trying to figure out a lot of things. He likes this one particular girl. He does things that I'm pretty sure we did growing up. Like he had his phone. The ringtone was like a song that she liked. So he told his friend, hey, call me in like 5 minutes so she can hear the song. Like, I got you. Like things like that. And then being on MySpace and then going through things and checking his friend's account. Like, am I still in this top 8? Are we still cool? Things like that. And he's into skateboarding and making videos for YouTube and stuff. And he even lies to some older kids like, hey, yeah, I know how to record skating videos. And he starts looking up, how do you record skating videos? And he starts recording videos for these older guys, and he's trying to fit in with these older guys. I compared it to Inside Out 2. I said it was a live action Inside Out 2. Everything Dee Dee was going through, same thing that Riley was going through in that movie. Hers was only at a hockey camp. His was summer. And he was just messing up a lot. Getting into it with his mom, getting into it with his sister. He really cared about his grandma, but he was just going through a lot before he went to high school. Just so much emotion in this movie, in the nostalgia, again, in this movie. It just worked. And the whole time I was like, I remember doing that. I remember this. I could see like his friend kind of like dissing him for a girl. Like, oh, there's no room in the car for you. And his friend's like, all right, I'll see you later, man. But then the tables turn, and he's like, "All right, I see you later, man." And Dee Dee is fun. Dee Dee is fun. One of my favorite movies. Please check it out if you get a chance. It should still be playing in theaters. And it's, again, smaller movie. People want movies like this. Dee Dee is there. Go watch it. August, I was waiting to do this live stream until I seen Alien Romulus, but I seen some movies before that. Hit or miss. Trap, it's an M. Night movie. I could probably leave it at that. So, it's hit or miss. For me, it was another miss. I know people liked it. I couldn't stand it. As soon as the movie started, I just couldn't stand it. Man takes his teenage daughter to this concert. I didn't know that the lady performing was M. Night's daughter. So he's just like promoting his daughter. Anyway, the concert is a trap for this serial killer. And we see this in the trailer, right? They don't even try to hide it. Hey, this is a trap for the whatever the guy's name is. And it's the guy taking his daughter. In the whole movie, they in this stadium, right? They in this arena, and it's just cops everywhere. But it wasn't like I don't know if they were trying to be this weird about it, but like, it wasn't like he was this fantastic mind and they were having like this cat and mouse game, because it was like some woman, some older woman there, and she was there as a profiler. She was a profiler. She was profiling all these serial killers, and she had this guy down to a T. And at some point he gets a walkie-talkie and he hears her talking, and she says the exact thing he's about to do, and he's like, ooh, like excited. And it was like, this is stupid. His daughter is enjoying the concert. He keeps doing weird things, just weird things after weird things. The fact that he was able to go with an employee to the employee lounge, whatever area it was, to get these boxes, I was like, what arena is allowing you to do that? To get a t-shirt. And the whole time, everybody's talking about this killer, and he's just like, they don't know it's me, and I'm trying to figure out all these different ways to get out, but it's just cops everywhere. And then by the time he does get out, you're like, really? This is the direction you're going? We don't see him be this genius serial killer. We don't get to see that, and then to see how he deals with being trapped. I thought that would have probably worked better. We see him just looking at some guy he has captured, and it's like, okay, I got to figure out how to get out here, but I got my daughter. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I was just like, M. Night, please stop. No, doesn't work for me. What did work for me is a movie called A Place Called Silence. This is it in Mandarin? I don't want to be wrong. I think it's in Mandarin. I can't remember, but it's subtitles. Get over it. It's a crime thriller. It's about 2 hours. The movie is fantastic. I can't give away everything that happens, but we follow this mom. She is very overprotective of her daughter. Her daughter does not speak. When we meet her daughter is being bullied by these 4 girls, and not like regular bullying. Like, they have her glued up to the wall or something like that, putting stuff on her. It's just really mean and disrespectful. Her mom finds her, has to like cut her hair because there's so much glue on it and stuff. And then one day, one of the girls show up dead. Then another girl shows up dead. And then the girl who doesn't speak goes missing. And the mom is freaking out. Like, what? Where's my daughter? What happened? I have a suspect. It was this person. She's breaking into apartments and stuff. And then it's like, once the police gets involved, all of these things start being revealed about multiple characters we've come across. And it's basically people hiding things, keeping it in silence, and then having it exposed to the world. And then it's like, now people are looking at you funny. And it's multiple people that we see in this movie. And it's like, if you would have said something, this wouldn't have happened. If you would have said something, this wouldn't have happened. If you would have said something, this would, like, It's that type of movie. And the whole time you're like following the mom. She still can't find her girl. And other girls showing up dead. And you're like, what is going on in this movie? What is happening in this town? And it was great. I'll probably do a spoiler review of it later. I still want people to try to go see it. Hopefully in theaters if it's playing somewhere near you. But it's a lot of fun. It's a very well done movie. A not so well done movie is Borderlands. That movie sucks. Like, it's not fun at all. It's not a good movie at all. I don't know if it just got pulled from theaters, but Borderlands is based on this video game. The video game is a looter shooter action game where you shoot a lot of people. There's cursing, there's destruction, and you get a lot of guns, all different types of guns. You get acid guns, you get electric guns, you get fire guns, and it's a billion guns in the game. That's what Borderlands is. And you're looking for a vault. There's 4 characters. They all have special abilities, and you get together with friends and look for this vault. Just fun, senseless fun. This movie has none of that. No fun, not a bunch of guns. They're looking for a vault. I give them that. But it just does nothing that equates to Borderlands. The wildness of Borderlands. It's just very generic. It is PG-13, I believe. And I don't understand how you make a Borderlands movie PG-13. That's like, hey, we have Grand Theft Auto, the movie. It's rated PG. No, that doesn't work. So Borderlands is by far one of the worst movies that I've watched in theaters this year. It's terrible. You don't need to watch it. Alien Romulus. Not a big horror guy. I do like the Alien movies. I like Alien. I like Aliens. I like Prometheus. Is it Covenant? That's after Prometheus. I like that one too. The spinoffs, Alien versus Predator. The first one is fine. The second one, no. But it's cool. I rewatched Aliens 3. I never watched that all the way through. I rewatched Resurrection. Didn't really like that one. And I'm like, okay, but Romulus, the trailers, they just kept speaking to me. Like, oh, I gotta see this. Like, just, I was like, yeah, I can't wait to see this. And I wasn't disappointed. It was really, really good. Like, it just had that old school feel of terror with this alien that you didn't know what was going to happen next to these people. And it's just a group of younger adults trying to escape this mining planet, and they end up on this outpost that they thought was empty. And all they trying to do is get some cryo chambers and leave. And they don't leave because the aliens start coming, the xenomorphs start coming. And it was like the way they pieced it together from the first movie, because it takes place between the first and second. I was like, yo, this is well done. And if you enjoy Alien or Aliens, this is something you need to see in theaters. It's the way it's shot. It has that tension. If you are afraid of a movie, if you don't like to be scared, don't go see this, because they set up some jump scares. They have those moments where you see something moving in the shadows, or in the background, you just see like an alien moving up the wall or something like that. It's really good. It's up there. It's behind Alien and Aliens, but it's probably the third best Aliens movie because it feels like an Aliens movie. I don't think Prometheus and Covenant feel like an Alien movie, because Alien and Aliens is like, well, Aliens did travel a little bit more, but like Prometheus, they're like on this world for the most part. They're not in this tight quarters like Romulus and Alien. And it was really good. I'm not surprised that I enjoyed it because the trailers were so good, but I enjoyed a lot of the performances, especially from Andy, the guy named Andy in the movie. He was great. His range was out of control. Like when you first meet him, you're like, is he gonna do anything? And then about 15 minutes in, he's doing a lot. But Romulus definitely recommended for those who enjoy the horror genre, who enjoy aliens. If you can't handle scares, not for you. And the last movie I saw recently to cap off summer movies, My Penguin Friend. I love penguins, so I wanted to see this movie. I didn't know anything about it. Did I even see the trailer? I just seen the poster, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go watch this. I don't care." And I was not expecting this. It's based on a true story. This fisherman, it's like a Disney movie mixed with like National Geographic, right? There's a tragedy early on in the movie. This fisherman, it's a tragedy. And fast forward, we see him older, and he doesn't, he's not happy. People treat him differently. He's going about his way, and he's on the beach, tending to his boat. He looks over, sees this penguin. Penguin is not really moving. He goes, picks it up, takes it home. It's covered in oil. And, he's washing it. He's like, oh, he's talking to the penguin. What happened? What's going on? And the penguin's trying to leave. He's like, no, you can't go nowhere. He goes get some fish. Penguin's killing it, eating. And he's, taking care of the penguin. His sister comes in, and he tries to hide the penguin. Penguin makes a bunch of noise. She's like, you can't keep this penguin. He's like, no, only for a week. Just to make sure he's good to go back. She's like, all right. Puts the penguin in the boat. They go to like this little island cave thing. Puts the penguin in the sand, walks him to the cave. It's like, all right, I'm out. Penguin starts crying. You're like, I can't, it's cool. Penguin, and they do like a little penguin vision thing. So you can see from the point of view of the penguin. And the penguin sits there. And he goes back home. And the sister's like, it's all right. Next morning, sister's doing something outside. Penguin pulls up. And she's like, penguin walks up in the kitchen. Like he knows the place. The guy's excited. Oh my God, you came back. You hungry? Feeding fish. And she's just like, and what you don't see in the movie is the time. They never tell you how much time has passed. So you hear him say like, oh yeah, it's been a few months. And the penguin came back. So it's like, they don't ever say how much time. And you're watching it. And every time the penguin shows up, the people in the town get excited because they see the excitement it brings to this guy. And they're like, oh, is this your pet? He's like, no, it's my friend. He comes and goes. On the other side, we follow these marine biologists. And they were also taking care of penguins, studying penguins and stuff. And they come across this penguin. And they're like, is that our penguin? And it can't be. No. So they do some stuff and boom. Yes, it is our penguin. Turns out the biologists are in Argentina and this guy is in Brazil. And the penguin goes to visit this guy every year. And it's like, what? So the whole movie is just, it brings you into this world with this fisherman and the tragedy that he had early on. And just he lost joy. He didn't have any joy. And this penguin just seems to change him and all the people around him. They name him, I think his name is Din Dim. And just him having the penguin with him is just doing everything and just making people happy. And it was just a wonderful movie to check out. I didn't know it was based on a true story. So at the end, you see the guy and the penguin. And I was like, wow, this is really good. And again, it's a smaller movie. And a lot of people probably won't check it out. What's good, Mel? What's good? But it's something that when it hits streaming, I think it's going to be a good family movie for people to check out. My Penguin Friend. It's really good. And those are the movies that I watched for the summer. Again, there are some big movies. There are some smaller movies that people should check out. I know a lot of people don't want to spend money all the time to go to the theater, but the movies are there. You just have to find them. You have to sometimes take a chance. Like when I saw Kneecap, I didn't know what movie was playing. I bought the ticket and I got to see a really fun movie. So, one, don't always trust every review out there. Like, even when I tell people, like, oh, this movie is trash, you might go see the movie and be like, oh, I really enjoyed that. It's like, cool, good for you. I'm happy for you. But if you want to see something, don't be like, oh, yeah, I wanted to see that. Oh, yeah, I wanted to see that. And then you wait for it to hit streaming and then you watch it. But then it's like, well, the movie didn't make money in theaters. So now we don't get a sequel. Because people do that. That's what happens with a lot of these shows. Like Suits, for instance, right? Suits was on USA. It does this thing. And then it hits Netflix. And then people, Netflix bingers, finally watch Suits. Didn't know anything about Suits when it came out. Start watching Suits, and it's like, we need more Suits. Why did they stop this show? And it's like, because y'all wasn't watching the show when it was on. That's why. Same thing with movies. People will finally watch a movie. Yo, that was really good. We should get a sequel. You didn't go to see it in the theater, so there will be no sequel. Stop it. But I keep trying to encourage people, go to the theater. Even if it's just one movie you want to see, go watch that movie, even if it's by yourself. You don't need to drag someone to the theater to watch a movie. You want to watch the movie and not be distracted. So go watch the movie. In terms of things I'm watching right now, I have not been watching a lot of TV shows. I did watch Kagan Ashura Part 2. It's an anime, Netflix anime. I posted that recently. I did watch The Dragon Prince Season 6. Thought it was an improvement on Season 5. We got a little bit more stuff to do, even though Ezrin is in the background for the most part. I started the Umbrella Academy. I'm kind of upset because the first 3 seasons are like 9 episodes, and this one is like 6. So I don't like when shows do that, when it takes forever for like that last season to come out and it's shorter. It makes me nervous. I watched the first 3. I'm intrigued to see what is happening next. I don't know what happens at the end, so I'll finish that sometime this weekend. There are a few movies on Hulu that I have saved. They're Hulu movies, so it might be trash. Don't have the greatest track record watching Hulu movies. They just don't be good. The Killer on Peacock. I want to watch that. That looks good. Netflix has a movie. It's not an anime, but it's animated. It's called The Imaginary, and it's been in my feed, and I want to watch that. The Instigators on Apple TV with Matt Damon and Casey Affleck. It's on my list to check out, but I want to get into a little bit more Netflix shows to catch up before the year is out, because right now there's a few movies coming out later on in the year that I may be interested in. Like, I'm not interested in Crow or the recent Channing Tatum movie that came out. I don't care about seeing that. But try to watch a little bit more Netflix shows that's on my list that I just haven't had a chance to see. Oh, Batman, Caped Crusader, Amazon Prime. I did a review on that recently. Really dope. 90s style Batman. I would say it's like a cousin to that show. Batman is still fairly new, like where people he doesn't get along with the police. Criminals still fear him, but they don't know if he's real or not. He doesn't have that much technology. He's definitely a detective, but when you go to his Batcave, it looked like it just looked like a room with a board in there and like some tables. It's no supercomputer or any like things that he's collected over the years. It's just like literally like him and Alfred be at this board, and then they be at the table, and that's it. Alfred and Batman's relationship it hasn't grown yet. He refers to him as Pennyworth for a long time in the show. I think it's 8 episodes or something like that, but it was cool. It's really fun. They changed some of the characters around, like Penguin is a woman now. It's not important. We spent some time with Harvey Dent. We see Harley Quinn, but her being a doctor and all before she goes, a little nutso. Catwoman, I thought Catwoman's story was pretty cool, and it was dope show. I like the way they were going with this show. I hope we get a season 2. It's set up for a season 2, but Batman Cape Crusader, Prime Video, dope show that I highly recommend for people to check out. In terms of what's going to be on the channel, it's going to be some Netflix stuff. Probably going to be a lot of streaming stuff that I'm trying to catch up on that I'll be posting in the next couple of weeks. I think I just posted The Union, Netflix movie. Not great. Seen it before. Halle Berry is in The Union. It's something like CIA, FBI, whatever. And she recruits Mark Wahlberg, who's a regular guy, and they have missions for him to do. And he does this training montage. It's not great. It's really not great. But it's not great. It reminded me of the Apple TV joint, Ghosted, something like that. But that's what I've been up to this summer. Some good movies out there. In terms of, I know people like lists. I didn't want to put this in the list. In terms of ranking the movies, I'll do my top 5. I would say I will go Dee number 1. I would put Twisters number 2, Deadpool Wolverine number 3, Alien Romulus 4, and A Place Called Silence 5. Just 5 quick movies that I really enjoyed in the summer. So if you get a chance to see any of these movies, I have reviews for all of them up on the channel. You can leave a comment on any of those reviews. Continue to support me. I appreciate it. I am on TikTok, Sticks323. And thank you for chilling with me on this live show. I never know how long I'm going to go. I just wanted to talk about summer movies. Didn't get any questions, so we're going to cut this almost at an hour. Really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Deuces.